fixture this early on in the season, although he will be keen to see his team get back to winning ways starting today.
Well, Hamilton Aggies spent much of the 90s ground sharing, so this is actually the first league meeting with their rivals in Hamilton for almost 2 decades. Good things come to those who wait, and they're certainly right up for it at New Douglas Park. The Lanarkshire derby hosted by Hamilton, and it promises to be a very intense affair, not just because local bragging rights are on offer, but because those 3 points that are on offer would change the picture considerably for either Hamilton or Motherwell. Motherwell come into this derby on the back of 4 straight defeats, but maybe this is just the kind of game they need, something to get stuck into. Hamilton Accies have found the going tough in the top flight. No great surprise, I guess. They have come a long way in a short space of time. They've only managed 1 win in their last 12 games. But Motherwell are on a miserable run as well. Hamilton against Motherwell. 2 teams out of form, out of sorts, out of luck perhaps, but what a difference a derby day could make. Richard Offiong never scored during a loan spell at Motherwell 5 years ago. He has scored in 3 of the last 4 games for the Accies. Chris Porter was sent off in the Co-op Cup clash against Hamilton in September, but he scored twice against him in the league in November, and in fact those were his last goals. John Sutton on a similar non-scoring run. He hasn't scored in his last 8 games and is still the top scorer, which sums up some of Motherwell's problems lately. Billy Reid and Motherwell assistant manager Scott Leach had a bit of a dust-up at Fir Park earlier this season. Mark McGee's had a bit to say about Hamilton too, so it'll be a busy day for the 4th official, but the man in charge, Ian Bryans, is a late replacement for Dougie McDonald, who has flu, and Ian Bryans had a busy week. He did Dundee United Rangers on Sunday, a Scottish Cup tie on Monday, Paris Saint-Germain against FC 20 on Thursday, and here he is with his 4th game in 7 days. The SPL weekend starts here. Hamilton have got the neighbours round for Christmas, and there's bound to be a few arguments. The names of 6 Motherwell players were misspelt in the official matchday programme. There could be a few more insults coming their way out on the pitch. John Sutton immediately challenging with Chris Swales. And there will be some intriguing personal duels out there, that is for sure. After 2 fiery encounters at Fir Park earlier in the season.
One thing I'd say, Ian, early on you can notice that the sun is going to be a real problem for that back 4 for Motherwell in particular. You can see when the ball's been playing forward already, Stephen Hamill trying to shade the sun from his eyes. Hamilton, of course, have got the advantage, and by the time we get to the second half, the sun will probably be long since disappeared.
Stephen McGarry may well lead this for Stephen Hamill. Motherwell haven't managed a victory since they beat Hamilton on the first day of November. 6 matches without success and only 1 goal in those 6 games, and that was a free kick. Saunders, Quinn given a midfield role today on his return from suspension after getting his 2nd red card of the season.
Yeah, I'll be very interested to see how he gets on. I've got a feeling Mark McGee has put him in there to give them a little bit of bite, because one thing you might accuse Motherwell of at times is that they're a little bit light, but Quinn certainly likes to get his foot in. Got a bit of dig about him. I think they'll need that today for sure.
Gary challenging Mensing, who spent a few months at Motherwell last season. So he'll be fancying this today, that's for sure, but he won't be alone on Derby Day in Lanarkshire. Mensing may have lost that in the sun. Hamill's throw. Sent back in his direction by Swales. Mark McGee guided Motherwell to third place last season and into Europe amid tragic turmoil at the club. They now find themselves second from bottom, but they won't be panicking just yet. They know they're better than that, even though you can't take anything for granted in football.
Yeah, that's for sure. Last season counts for absolutely nothing, although I've got to say, not only were they the third best team, but they were a fantastic side to watch. Even the other night against Kilmarnock, wasn't a great performance, certainly wasn't a very good result, but you could see in spells they've still got that passing, attacking style about them, and that's never going to go away. Mark McGee's got his principles, he's going to stick to them.
Hamilton victory today would put them level on points with Motherwell, but they would have to beat them by 5 goals to move above them on goal difference. And that would be a dream kind of scoreline for Aki's supporters. Cleared by Klimpel.
Yeah, I don't see a 5-0 today, do you?
Not really, no.
But these are the type of games where you might have a few meaty tackles and players being sent off, and you can get some unusual results in derby games.
Hamill seeking out Porter. Sutton was close to him as well. Kept in by Porter. Offiong. Quinn. Helped on by Neal, and then by Offiong, and McCarthy is onto it, and Offiong might just latch onto it. Oh, that touch took it away from Richard Offiong, and an early opportunity for Hamilton goes amiss.
Well, it's good play between McCarthy, great little touch in to get Offiong on. If he gets his first touch right here, he's clean through on goal, just too heavy. Great vision by McCarthy to get his strike partner in, but unfortunately the keeper's off his line very quickly.
Richard Offiong with 3 goals in the last 4 games could have given Hamilton Accies a flying start then.
Yeah, you could see he was just trying to get himself away from the centre-back. If he'd have slowed himself down, I think he would have given the centre-back a problem to either bring him down or let him go.
Offiong glancing that on, but it's duly dispatched by Hamill. Swales header, and Porter chasing, and he's collided with Cherney, who's stayed down. The flag is up for offside anyway against Hamilton, but Ian Bryan's just going to check on the welfare of Hamilton's Czech keeper.
I've got to say, there was a stage where I thought Porter could get there. I think if he was a bit more committed, he maybe could have got a block in. It was just his natural progress that was going to take him into Cherney. He couldn't really stop himself.
An early sore one for Thomas Cherney. And when we resume, it will be a free kick to Motherwell for offside against Accies. And they're just making sure that Cherney's okay. From the Barclays Premier League later, it's a claret and blue showdown between West Ham and Aston Villa from 4 o'clock on Setanta Sports 1. And on Monday, a blue showdown, Everton against Chelsea, that's from 7 o'clock on Setanta Sports 1 as well. Cherney will be okay. Part of the job when you're a goalkeeper, to take a few of those.
Yeah, he was certainly brave enough, and he had to be.
Sutton helped that on. McGarry has lost out though to McClenahan. Mark Reynolds has been making a name for himself at Motherwell in the past couple of seasons. Hamill's throw. McCarthy. Returned by Reynolds. Doesn't drop for Lasley, but it does now. McLaughlin cut the supply line, although I'm not sure Porter would have got there. The bottom two in the SPL, scrapping it out in the first of this weekend's encounters.
Scrapping out is right, it's been scrappy so far, hasn't it? But one thing I've noticed, the fullbacks for Motherwell are definitely the outball. Hamilton are playing very, very narrow, with Mensing and McCarthy playing close, just off Young, and it means that whenever they get in possession, Motherwell have got to be looking to filter it out to Hamill or Saunders.
Mensing glancing that towards McCarthy. Swales has presented it to Hamill. It's a swirler. McLaughlin clears. Jamie Murphy. Quinn goes round the outside. Murphy uses him and Quinn sends an early cross in. Hamilton Accies have lost 9 of their last 12 games, just 1 win in that run against Kilmarnock here recently. But they're still certainly in touch with a few teams above them.
Well, that's right, isn't it? They're not detached. I think back to Gretna last season. They were toast by October, I think.
Well, they were detached.
But regardless of this result today, these teams are down at the wrong end of the table and they're in trouble, and it's going to take more than 3 points to get them out of it.
Sutton will challenge for that. Porter was closely watched by Swales. Klimple. Murphy. Saunders a little too close to him. Reynolds now for Hamill. And there's a bit of space for Stevie Hamill to exploit, and they're inviting him to have a go. And it was ultimately a rather disappointing effort.
Well, this is the situation I was talking about, the fullbacks being the out. I actually think he should thread the ball wide for McGarry, who pulls out for him. Takes a strike from 25 yards, it's not the best, but that's evidence enough for Motherwell that they know if they can filter it out and across the other side of the pitch, they're going to have a lot of space.
Stevie Hamill has only scored twice in nearly 300 games for Motherwell. It would have been a collector's item, that. Motherwell seeing a lot of the ball in the early exchanges. Reynolds. Elabet gets the free kick. Turney has recovered from that early knock. Easton or Mensing. Out wide, could be possible targets. Easton and Offiong move towards it. Booted away by Saunders, and Porter kept it in. Murphy returns it. Porter again, and he could be away. And it needed McCarthy to cut across.
Well, he's unlucky, Porter. It was really good play between him and Jamie Murphy out wide. He was a little bit more clever with his touch there. He was clean through on goal.
Young Stephen Saunders will send in a long throw towards Sutton. It was met though by Elabat. Offion. He's got McCarthy to his left. Chasing his own ball in the end, but Paul Quinn got back to rescue it for Motherwell. Easton. Porter for Hamill. Klimple. Murphy. Now Quinn. And here's Sutton. Some neat exchanges from Motherwell. Sutton's centre though, not really posing too many problems for Hamilton Accies. Offiong and McCarthy aiming to link up. Offiong runs in rather late on Saunders.
Certainly did, and the young lad didn't make a meal of it at all. They filter out wide, and he's just going to take a touch and play it in the channel. Offiong comes flying in. The young lad does really well for him, because on occasions you'll see some players roll around.
Suddenly it could open up here for Hamilton Accies. Alex Neil seeking out Offion. Game attempt to get there, and he's got a free kick as well, which could be interesting.
Well, I think Alex Neil knew that Offiong is going to beat anyone in a race. He's quick. Got the wrong side of Saunders, and he couldn't help himself bring it down. It's a very, very dangerous area, this, because Hamilton get very good delivery in from wide areas, and they've got a lot of height in their team, and we all know how susceptible Motherwell have been at set pieces.
Yes, the likes of Swales and Easton and McLaughlin will move in there. Awaiting this free kick. And it's going to trickle for a corner, I think. Or maybe a throw, yes. Down the line from Hamill towards Sutton. It drops for Neil, although not for long. Alex Neil up towards Offiong, closely watched by Reynolds. And Mensing lunging in at the feet of Hamill. Sutton sandwiched. And a free kick is going Motherwell's way. It's the 105th league meeting between these Lanarkshire rivals, and over half of them have ended in draws. 29 wins for Hamilton, 22 for Motherwell. A win apiece this season in League and Cup. Mensing. McCarthy's header goes out. The latest in a series of throw-ins for Stevie Hamill. And McClenaghan will give him another. Porter. Hamill. McClenahan shadowing Sutton. Klimple. Saunders. Murphy ahead of him. Saunders takes a different route, and that should be fairly comfy for Cherney.
Yeah, and it's not really the Motherwell way, is it? I think normally we see them playing through the midfield, but so far they've been quite direct, just trying to get balls into Sutton and Porter and play off them. Hasn't worked so far.
McClenahan, the Aussie who started his career at West Ham, his mum and sister have come over from Australia for Christmas. They're at the game today. And a tug by Mensing, who's up against his old club, and he was sent off against them in the Cup meeting early season. A bit too up for it on that occasion. Stephen McGarry. Jamie Murphy. Easton turning away from trouble. Charged down by Murphy though. Sutton had gone to the near post, there was nobody far. Lasley.
They're inviting pressure on themselves, Hamilton. Certainly Brian Easton did the hard work there, went to clear his lines and hit it straight off Jamie Murphy, and with a better ball in they could have been in trouble.
Simon Mensing certainly felt that. Hamill looking for an option, McGarry provides it. Hamill being allowed to go a fair distance. Sutton and Lasley can't maintain the momentum. Hamilton make a hash of clearing it though. And Motherwell will come back for more. Quinn. Sutton kept in check by Swales. Mensing. Passing with Lasley. Saunders. Porter. Porter gone past McClenahan. Goal kick actually is the verdict. It came off Porter last.
Well, it was a good step over by Porter. He certainly looked as if he dropped his shoulder and got the half a yard. They just work it into a wide area, gets his head down, quick step over, gets his half yard, but McClenahan sticks to his task well, gets a foot in, and I think the referee was spot on.
Motherwell have the joint worst away record in the SPL this season with Falkirk. Even Hamilton have picked up more points on the road. Neil, who missed the game against Hibs last week with a knee injury. McClenahan. Swales. Offiong. Nipped in front of Reynolds. Mensing. Offside against Richard Offiong. Richard Offiong. Have to move away. Billy Reid brought Hamiltonakis into the top flight, and they made an impression early on, trying to play the game the right way. Well, that's easier said than done when you're in a bit of bother. Porter. McGarry hung in there despite the presence of Mensing. Hamill's cross, Sutton grappling, and the free kick is given against him and in favour of McLaughlin.
Got to say, my first reaction was it was pretty harsh. Sutton's just trying to hold his ground on the edge of the box, but Brian saw it differently.
Midway point of the first half, so much at stake as the bottom two in the SPL collide in this Lanarkshire derby. If Hamilton were to win today, there would be 4 teams on the same number of points at the bottom. Graham Smith launching it. Quinn. Sutton and Porter unable to link up. Stephen McGarry is going to be given a warning.
Well, I think he lunges, but he barely catches him. It was more the sound from the player than the actual tackle itself.
McLaughlin has moved forward and it's aimed in the direction of him. There he is, rising. To little avail. Hamill. McGarry. Sutton. Hamill. And it's Jamie Murphy who just managed to stretch and connect.
Well, this is a far better chance than it first looks. Just a floater ball in by Stevie Hamill. Murphy manages to get in between the two centre-backs. And just a little touch, just managed to get a graze. Skips by the far post, but I think a bit more belief, a bit more commitment from Murphy on his header there. He may well have put him in front.
Well, he scored on this ground last month for Scotland's under-21s against Northern Ireland, and he scored against Hamilton in the Cup meeting at Fir Park. James McCarthy, Hamilton's wonder kid, earns a corner. Just 18 years of age and a host of top clubs monitoring his progress, but he is quite happy and committed to the Hamilton Accies cause for the time being. Having said that, he certainly has a big future ahead of him.
I can only reiterate though, Ian, this is a great opportunity for Hamilton set pieces with the height they've got.
Mensing with the first corner of the game. McCarthy, Neil, MacArthur, and Offion looking to pounce on it. And Graham Smith dealt with it admirably. Mensing though, Motherwell can't get it out just yet. Smith grabs hold of it now though.
Well, it's Graham Smith who's involved in the action. The set piece gets cleared first of all, but Hamilton keep it alive. Move it across, eventually it ends up with James MacArthur. Heavy touch and his shot is blocked, but it's Offiong who's in on goal. Graham Smith brave and comes out very, very well.
Jamie Murphy. Quinn. That's gone behind McGarry.
This is the problem for Motherwell. You look at the fact that they're trying to pass the ball as best they can, but it's not happening for them. That's an indication of exactly where they are at the moment in terms of their play. Paul Quinn, under no pressure whatsoever, putting it off the pitch.
The last 4 times Hamilton Accies have been in the top flight of Scottish football, they have only lasted a season, immediately relegated. They won't want that sequence to continue, but they have a lot of hard work ahead of them to avoid it. That is for sure. But they will be encouraged by the fact that there are a few teams toiling in the bottom half of the SPL.
No doubt about that, there's a few teams down there, but I've been surprised by the start Hamilton have made. I thought they'd come flying out the traps. Huge game for both teams, obviously, but they're the home team. The onus is on them to go out and get the fans behind them, put some pressure on Motherwell. It hasn't happened so far.
Klimpel, the Slovakian defender. Lasley. Hamill. Motherwell advancing again. Lasley. Hamill for McGarry. Booted away by Alex Neil. McCarthy's header. Offiong rises with Klimpel. McGarry. Popping up in various areas of the field. And a free kick for Motherwell, that could be handy.
Well, we'd like to see the game flow a little bit more, wouldn't we? But I guess there's not an awful lot Ian Bryant can do about it. A lot of bitty fouls, silly shirt pulls and things like that, and the game hasn't got into any sort of flow.
Hamill then floats the free kick in, but it's comfortably cleared by Swales. Returned by Reynolds. Neil. And again. Stevie Hamill still over that side, having taken the free kick. He will revert to his normal position. Saunders has managed to throw that out, which is always quite an achievement. Oh, Reynolds clearance, and Offiong's in. It's a tricky angle. And goal kick is the verdict.
Well, he's not a happy boy, is he? He gets lucky Offiong because Reynolds goes to clear it, hits it off him, and he's basically in. Simon Mensing doing his best to get up in support, can't quite get there, and in the end they managed to shepherd it out.
Richard Offiong played 10 games for Motherwell on loan back in 2003. McCarthy, held up by Saunders. Neil. Saunders steps in. That is Murphy, who has gained a throw for Motherwell, which Saunders will take. Just going back to that Offiong loan spell at Motherwell, 10 games, he didn't score, they lost 9 and drew 1 of them. Apart from that, he was a roaring success.
And you're saying they didn't keep him?
Strange that. A free kick now for Hamilton Accies.
Well, to be fair to him, he's found the club that suits him best, hasn't he? Because he's done very, very well since he's been at Accies. Top scorer in the First Division last year, and he's managed to get in amongst the goals this season, and he's their main threat.
Another set-piece scenario would encourage Hamilton. McLaughlin is in there, and it's Elibert who pops it over the bar.
I'll tell you what, this is a chance. They just float the ball in from the wide area. I think it's McLaughlin who gets up first. Elibert just eases his man out. He's actually got a free header if he just lets it drop. He's got a free header inside the 6-yard box, but he feels he has to challenge for it.
Decent chance that indeed for Hamilton. Not too many clear sights of goal in the opening half hour or so, and not a lot on target, as you can see. McCarthy for McClanahan. Early ball in, cleared by Reynolds, and now Murphy has released Sutton. Hamilton could be a little stretched, but it'll be a forlorn chase for Lasley. McClanahan. MacArthur lost his bearings. McGarry. Plenty of room here for Paul Quinn, he might as well have a crack. He does! And it's dealt with by Cherney.
Well, what a strike this is. They work it very well. Motherwell comes to Quinn, fully 30 yards out, gets plenty on the shot, and Cherney can't get his body behind the ball. Spills it. Really good strike of the ball from 30 yards out. Cherney gets lucky.
Well, he hasn't scored for a year. His last 2 goals against Rangers. Porter. And Jamie Murphy alongside him, but in steps Mark McLaughlin, who missed a large chunk of the season through injury, and Hamilton missed him. Plenty of experience.
Yeah, he's an important player. Good positional sense, and always handy to have a left-sided centre-back. There are not many of them going about.
Saunders going longish towards Porter, but Alex Neil in front of him. Porter! Swiveled and struck it sweetly, and his effort was matched really by Cherney's fine save.
Yeah, this is the best effort in the match. They work it into Porter, takes a touch on the half turn, good half volley. Fortunately for Cherney, it's straight at him, but he makes a decent save anyway, plenty of pace on the shot.
McGarry with Motherwell's corner, and John Sutton off target. And that's been pretty much the story for Motherwell's strikers of late. 8 games without a goal for Sutton.
This is the Porter chance, you just see it, takes a touch, works it onto his left side. Good strike. He's unlucky in a way because a yard either side of the keeper, and I think this is Motherwell 1-0 up.
Cherney in the firing line, and he just needed a touch of treatment. And there's obviously some problem with him. Took that sore one earlier from Porter, but denied the same man a goal there, and it looks like they might have to change their keeper.
Well, you wonder whether this is a reaction from the knock they took earlier when Porter was clean through. He certainly wasn't happy, took a fair bit of treatment that time. I wonder whether he's got a knock on the head, maybe.
Light concussion for Cherney, and Sean Murdoch may get to play against Motherwell for the second time this season, because his only appearance so far for Hamilton Accies was at Fir Park in the Co-op Cup win in September.
But they'll not want to lose Cherney. He's been one of their performers of the season, I would say. Despite the fact they've been up against it, he's made a really good name for himself.
Well, they are going to lose him. The signal has been made, and Cherney's game is over. And Sean Murdoch is going to replace him. So 2 appearances for Hamilton Accies, both against Motherwell. Unexpected opportunity for Murdoch, and this is why, after that earlier clash, Cherney's still feeling the effects of it.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, I think it's accidental. It's fair to say that Porter couldn't help but stop himself, and a clash into the face is never the nicest, particularly at this time of year.
And considering his vision may be slightly impaired, did well to make that save from Porter. It came at him in a flash. A round of applause for Cherney as he departs the scene. Murdoch is on. It's 0-0. McClenahan's throw, Offiong. McGarry turned away from Offiong. McCarthy. McClenahan, Offiong. McCarthy, and McCarthy is in the box. Klimple just flicked it away from him. Jamie Murphy has been felled and fouled. It's over 10 hours now since Motherwell managed a goal from open play. Their only goal in their last 6 matches was Bob Malcolm's free kick against Hibs. Surprising really when you consider the number of strikers that Mark McGee has who are of fair quality. Bob Malcolm, as you saw, left on the bench today for this one. Klimple has been injured for much of the season, but has played the last few games alongside Mark Reynolds. Stephen Cragen still out. David Clarkson also missing, of course, and he can be an impact player for Motherwell.
Well, I agree with that. Clarkson's a big miss for him, no doubt about that. They're quite similar, Sutton and Porter. Both target men, neither of them the quickest. Both like to play with their back to goal, and I think Clarkson gives them something different, but he's not available. They've just got to get on with those two boys today, and they're both capable.
Swale stretching, Quinn. I'm not sure who he saw to his left, because Hamill wasn't there. Hamilton with a miserly 5 points from the last 36 on offer. Some big games ahead for Hamilton Accies over the next few weeks. More on that in a moment, because Offiong's trying to get away, but Paul Quinn sorts out the situation for Motherwell. Hamill. Porter the target. McGarry. Out-muscled by Swales. Lasley. Klimple. Murphy. Saunders. Poor from Klimple. Mensing giving Offiong something to chase. Paul Quinn maybe in midfield for Motherwell today, but he's covering admirably.
That's the advantage of having Quinn back there, playing the defensive role in midfield, because he's got a defender's mindset, and he's been there in a few occasions to offer them good cover.
Easton's throw. Mensing. McCarthy. Swales. Offside against McCarthy. Hamilton Accies are away to St Mirren next Saturday. Then they've got 3 teams they've already beaten this season: Aberdeen, Inverness and Kilmarnock. So a vital period really over Christmas and New Year. And, offside against Motherwell now.
One thing Hamilton have got to improve is their home form. Cast your mind back to last season, didn't lose a single game here, albeit at a lower level, but they've dropped points for fun at New Douglas Park, and people always talk about the strength of your home form is something that's going to be the mainstay this season. It hasn't been for them.
Sutton with a strong challenge. He has Alex Neil to contend with now, though, and he likes a feisty challenge as well. That'll be offside again, will it? Well, the assistant referee went to put his flag up, but ultimately didn't.
quick thinking from James McCarthy, because he realised he was offside, just let it run past him.
Half-time approaching at New Douglas Park. No goals between Hamilton and Motherwell. Can the visitors change that from this free kick? It's been a half littered with fouls, as you might expect in a local derby.
Yeah, it's been frustrating to watch, hasn't it? Hopefully the second half will pick up.
Hamill delivers towards Porter, and his header goes rather miserably wide. Swales made a decent challenge on him, to be fair. So Sean Murdoch on for the concussed Thomas Cherney. Mark McGee's Motherwell are 15 points worse off than they were at this stage last season, when they were challenging at the top end of the table. Because of the first half treatment for keeper Cherney, there is going to be 2 minutes of stoppage time. Sutton bars off the pitch then by Swales. Fairly and squarely. MacArthur returns it to McClenahan. Mensing, and James McCarthy looking to latch onto this. He has! He scores! This talented teenager gets the crucial first goal in this Lanarkshire derby, and Hamilton Accies lead against their fierce rivals.
Well, it's a great finish from the young lad, but what are the Motherwell back four doing? He's borderline offside, to be fair. Klimple doesn't get back early enough, he waits for the half volley. Smith doesn't come off his line quick enough, and in the end it's a clever nutmeg with a bit of power that gets the home side in front. Good pace from McCarthy to get clear, keeps his head, and it's a decent finish.
It's a really poor goal for Motherwell to concede, and for his celebration James McCarthy is getting a yellow card, but he's also got a goal, and it's a vital goal at a vital time in this game, just ahead of half-time. Motherwell will be kicking themselves at the way it came about. Hamilton are loving it.
Well, it's a cheap goal, isn't it, from Motherwell's perspective? It really is. Scott
Leach complaining about the offside. We're into 2 minutes of added on time. MacArthur. McGarry. A bitter blow that for Motherwell, so late in the half. Motherwell will get a free kick now as they look for a quick response. It's Billy Reed's Hamilton Accies in front.
Well, the Motherwell bench are unhappy about the offside. It's very, very close. You look at the feet. For me, on that shot, it looks level. We certainly wouldn't want to prevent people from having goals when it's that close. Good finish by McCarthy, though.
Stephen McGarry has been booked for a touch of the verbals towards Ian Brines. Maybe still complaining about the goal, or the offside that Motherwell felt went against them. Hamill's cross. Lasley slid in, and there's a few sliding in now, and it's threatening to get a little nasty. Klimple and Easton involved this time. It's boiling over. And there might be some action for Ian Bryans to take. Klimple and Easton, the men involved.
Well, there was definitely a bit of afters. Klimple, I think, was more the guilty party than Easton. They both went into the tackle, very committed. Bryans decides a yellow card for the two of them is sufficient, but you see them both go into the tackle, the ball pops out, Klimple has a bit of a kick. To be fair, I don't think there's enough to give him a straight red.
Well, we hardly had a booking, and then 4 came along in the space of a few minutes. That's how it should be in a local derby. Hamill. It is half-time, and things certainly got a little heated in the last few minutes of the half, and James McCarthy gave Hamilton Accies a precious lead. But there's plenty more left in this derby match, of that you can be sure. Motherwell feel a little hard done by, but they have time to put things right. Second half should be fun.